Hello, very good morning and welcome to Athavan newspaper highlights. Today Friday, 8th of July 2016. This is Edward Udedas, the Vasakayam Pillai with the highlights of today's English newspapers. As usual, we have three newspapers for the highlights: Daily Mirror, Daily News and Ceylon Today. Firstly, let's have a look on the Daily Mirror. The main headline says, Sri Lanka's accession to optional protocol of ICCPR. PM seeks Speaker to rule on Supreme Court pronouncement. Dinesh asks for debate. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday in Parliament sought Speaker Kara Jayasuriya to overrule the Supreme Court pronouncement given way back in 2006, saying Sri Lanka's accession to the optional protocol of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights needed a two-thirds majority of Parliament and approval by people at a referendum. Calling in a perverted interpretation of the Constitution, the Prime Minister said the obiter dicta of the Supreme Court violated Article 3, 4 and 5 in this respect. He made this point in answer to a question directed by Government MP M.H.M. Salman. Mr. Salman said Sri Lankan citizens used to complain in the UN Human Rights Committee, but successive governments stopped responding to it because of this court pronouncement called the Singarasa case. Bus fares increase from August 1. The bus fares are likely to increase from August 1st based on the recommendations of the Committee of Eminent Persons appointed by Transport and Aviation Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva. Cancel foreign tours. President Maithripala Sirisena has instructed ministers to cancel all foreign tours for 1 month and stay in the country to respond to the public demands. Debt increased by 228.7 billion rupees due to rupee devaluation. The rupee component of external borrowings increased by 228.7 billion rupees due to the devaluation of the local currency against the US dollar, Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake said in Parliament yesterday. VAT will not be removed, alterations would be done. The value-added tax, which has been increased up to 15%, will not be abolished, but alterations would be done in order to justify the increase, Deputy Minister of Power and Renewable Energy Ajith P. Perera said yesterday. Second, let's move to Daily News. The main headline says, Kiriella on Treasury bond issue. Auditor General's report flawed, not sought expert opinion. Presented in a hurry. The Auditor General's report on the central bank treasury bond issuance is flawed because he had not sought expert opinion from financial specialists and economists before compiling it, Leader of the House, Minister Laxman Kiriella said. Indian fishermen will not be allowed to have things their way, PM. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe told Parliament yesterday that the government will never let Indian fishermen engage in fishing activities in Sri Lankan waters as they wish. He was responding to a question by Chief Opposition Whip JVP MP Anura Kumara Disanayake during the Prime Minister's question time. Tajuddin murder case. Another high-ranking police officer in hot water. Another high-ranking police officer involved in the investigations into Wasim Tajuddin's murder is being investigated over his alleged role in the cover-up of evidence in the former rugby player's murder, the Attorney General yesterday informed court. MR should worship President for saving him from electric chair, Range Bandara. The former president should worship the current president because he saved him from the electric chair. The former president is only an ordinary person to me all the time and I never feel anything special about him, Vocational Training and Skills Development State Minister Palitha Range Bandara said. Finally, let's move to Ceylon Today. The main headline says, Chinese Foreign Minister arrives today, gunning for settlement on Port City. A high-caliber Chinese delegation led by Foreign Minister Wang Yi will arrive in Colombo today and will shortly thereafter call on President Maithripala Sirisena before attending a formal dinner hosted by Foreign Minister Mangala Samaraweera. The delegation will also be meeting Premier Ranil Wickremesinghe on Saturday for talks on furthering Sino-Lanka relations in several fields. Relations between the two countries took a nosedive, triggered by the different foreign policy stances opted by the current government in its first year in power. Many Chinese mega projects were initiated under the former pro-China government. Kandy Dalai Lama exhibition, China deeply displeased. The Chinese embassy has written to the Minister of Foreign Affairs protesting last Wednesday's exhibition of photographs of Tibetan leader Dalai Lama in Kandy, a spokesman for the Chinese embassy said. Joe appoints shadow cabinet. Mahinda Rajapaksa, Prime Minister. The joint opposition has named a 50-member shadow cabinet headed by former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, a Joe media release states. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa has been named as the shadow Prime Minister, his brother Chamal Rajapaksa, the shadow Minister of Transport and Aviation Services, and his son Namal Rajapaksa, the shadow Foreign Minister. Joint opposition and SLFP Kaluthara District MP Vidura Vikramanayake says that the basis for the appointment of shadow cabinet of 50 ministers was to serve the pressing needs of the people, which the government had failed to solve thus far. Thebara Perma et al. Allowed bail. Madugama Chief Magistrate Wasanta Kosala Senadira yesterday allowed bail for Deputy Minister Palitha Thebara Perma and 12 others, including the 9 mothers. They had been arrested and charged with illegal entry into and unlawful assembly at the Megata Henna Primary School. The 13 suspects were released on surety bail in 1 million rupees each. With that, let's come to an end of today's paper highlights. We will come with more news tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening to Athavan Newspaper Highlights.